Welcome back. Let's get into the back rooms of the grove, so to speak.
You ain't gonna shoot me. Your hands are shaking.
Put it down. She can't fight back.
That's the point. Get out of the way!
She didn't kill your brother, Arca. You're better than this.
Shoot before you lose your nerve, Tiefling. If you ever had it to begin with.
And we do know that Gale approves of saving Sazza, so step between the crossbow and the goblin.
Looks like the Absolute sent me a protector. You're gonna kill him too?
You! Move!
Detect thoughts. Read the tiefling's thoughts. Oh, right. Wait a minute. Isn't Shadowheart here? Doesn't she have guidance? She's not helping. Interesting. I will attempt to roll again. And again. And one more time. Really?
Stop it! Get out of my head!
Was Shadowheart just too far away? That is annoying. Because the guidance definitely would have solved that problem. But, we are not here to kill tieflings, so we are definitely going to put non-lethal attacks on.
I'm going to enjoy this.
Oh, you teams are all boring. Even your cages are boring. I'm gonna bite the heads off your kids, and your birdies, and your dogs.
Wet and wet.
Let my name be known.
I don't think there's any dexterity saves incoming, so sure, why not?
You're gonna be sorry, every last one of you.
I don't know if Blade Ward stacks with Warding Bond, but let's find out.
Oh, you thieves are all boring. Even your cages are
Alright.
boring.
Damage roll 1, based on unarmed damage, plus 3 strength modifier, that would be 4, minus 2 bludgeoning resistance. So the Blade Ward and the Warding Bond both provide resistance. So that doesn't stack with each other. The Blade Ward doesn't help. But then look, he took 20 return cold damage, and she has a ranged weapons,
Yes,
so
of
she
course.
won't get an opportunity attack. But I am down to 2 arcane wards.
You're gonna be sorry, every last one of you.
Knocked out.
Need to stay focused. Time to meet your maker.
Boring. Even your cages are boring.
Knocked out.
Lovely day, this. For now.
That's everything.
Well, that was unfortunate. I think Shadowheart was just too far away, and then I needed a
I'm gonna bite the
9.
heads off your kids and your birdies.
So
and your
40%
dogs.
chance to fail each roll. 4 times in a row. That's like a 2% chance.
My eyes
That's
go
ridiculous.
heavy. Best to make camp.
Well, we may as well
A
talk to
little
Sazza now.
discourse.
No point turning on your own if you're just gonna give 'em a little tap.
Wow!
It's too late to make friends, warg meat. My tribe's coming. They're gonna burn this pretty place for the glory of the Absolute and hang you by your guts.
I'm actually quite impressed that they thought to include that little bit where Sazza commented on us knocking the tieflings out. In all my studies, I've seen no reference to a god called the Absolute.
Goddess. We're burning her name across the face of the world, we are. The Absolute is gold from the sky, she is. The blessing in the storm and the storm itself.
An all-powerful goddess that can't get you out of a cage.
Maybe she sent you to help me. And you will, if you want to save your skin. And if the teeth stick a few arrows in us on the way out of here, don't worry. Priestess Gut will patch us up. Got a whole lab set up. Cooks up potions that fix our lads, no matter how much of a beating they take. Could probably stick your head back on if someone was to chop it off. Mighty booyog.
A goblin healer. We really are desperate, aren't we?
Well, I'd certainly like to meet her.
Get me out of here, and I'll tell you where to find her. Deal?
You already told me what I need to know. I'll find the priestess myself.
Even if you did find my tribe, they'd set the wargs on ya. You need me. Get me out of here, and I'll tell them what a good friend you are.
Deal. I'll get you out of there.
Then hurry up and do it. My tribe ain't as friendly as I am.
Karlak approves.
Let me out, you bunch of
That
softies.
surprises me. May as well see what they have on them. Memnos has nothing.
You're
Arca
gonna be
has
sorry.
light crossbow, but I'm not going to steal their stuff. I was just curious what they had. But yeah, so let's see what our options might be to get her out of there. There is a stone door here.
Eager for battle.
So Lae'zel does have knowledge dexterity on her.
An efficient path.
I'm gonna bite the heads off your kids and your
A small
birdies
hurdle.
and your dogs.
Ah, excellent choice.
Let me out, you
Certainly.
bunch of softies.
As you wish.
Ready to go meet my tribe? Just say the word.
Follow me. I'll keep you safe.
Happily. Lead the way.
Now Karlach disapproves. We broke Sazza out, now for the hard part, getting her out of the grove. We learned that the goblin tribe is led by a priestess with powerful magic. Dealing with goblins is risky, but this might be one way to cure ourselves. A goblin priestess apparently possesses some powerful healing spells. She might be able to help.
It shall be done.
Druid magic. Better tread carefully.
Indolence breeds madness.
Let's find another one.
Unheard, unseen.
Oops, I didn't mean that.
Quickly then. Enough waiting. I crave blood.
You have my attention.
We'll get the druid talking. Grove's got to be full of magic.
Action, not reaction.
Oh, let's get this over with.
Oh, we can't get to the ruin of the bear without being potentially seen.
What's next?
Oh, that's everybody. Okay. I didn't realize that hit everybody.
Lacketh's will be done.
My faith protects me.
Take you.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna send
Eager for battle.
Lae'zel up to just run and hit that.
Curious.
Did some bleeding arts show up to save the druid? I'll cut you to pieces.
What are you doing? It's me, Sazza!
You and them other idiots mucked up the old raid. The Absolute don't like failures.
I ain't a failure. I'll be an hero when I tell the boss about this place. And you'll be maggot food.
I'll be telling the boss myself. Kill him!
Okay.
I'd rather stand tall.
It looks like the rune is not glowing, so at least we turned off the thing.
Hey, good looking. Saddle up.
You can't see me. Shadow lag.
Probably not going to be able to get very far, so we'll just see how far she
Say
gets.
bye-bye.
Alright.
I'm ready. I must keep going. Quiet as a mouse. Onward.
only have one arcane ward left, so we're going to be a bit closer to oh yeah, also I radiate light. We're going to be a little bit closer to normal wizard behavior for this one. Maybe. Yeah, we can catch 3 of them in a grease. Let's do that.
No time to waste. Taste my fury.
Ring of evasion. I'll go ahead and rage. Not enough movement. So I'll go ahead and take a piercing shot. She doesn't really have any weapons, but she'll come up. You know, maybe I don't use fire on the grease so close to a druid over there. So let's just do a sacred flame. And move up.
Heading there.
Let's light them up. Fancy their chances.
Start working on this one.
No time to waste. Make way.
I can go ahead and risk an attack on the warg, just to not be threatened when I do a guiding bolt over here.
Onward.
Unleash me.
Step by step.
Ah.
Taking position.
Cry about it.
Have to keep going.
The lance board is set.
You fight well. Perhaps our survival isn't such a distant prospect.
Right. Now that everybody's out of the grease, let's spurn it away.
Right away.
Thought I was never gonna get out of there. Good to be free again, gotta say.
You made me a promise, remember?
Never break a promise, unless there's something in it for me. I'll introduce you to my whole tribe and put in a good word for you. See you at the camp.
We got out of the grove in one piece. Sazza told us to meet her at the goblin camp. Alright. In the meantime, we should certainly take our other short rest. We're probably not going to be doing more than one other
That hit the spot.
encounter this adventuring day. But there is the matter of this unconscious Findal here.
Wits and blades always sharp.
Wounds begun.
Take your...
Salutations. My pleasure.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I thought I was gonna die down here.
How did those goblins slip into the grove?
Oh, it's my fault. I thought I'd given them the slip, but they followed me through the tunnel back there. I must tell the others what happened. I stepped careful. There are traps in these tunnels. And thank you again.
Actually, I'll just jump directly there. And hit the thing. And he has this charred key on him.
That way. That's curious.
Oh, also.
Curiosity must be satisfied.
There's this trap. There's this chest
Mine.
over here,
I'd better be careful not to trigger that thing.
and it is trapped. However, because we have the charred key, we can bypass the trap. We have this nature snail. It's actually kind of a combat staff as opposed to a casting staff, so it's not really useful for anybody in our party, and it looks like we can't even consume it, unfortunately. But, you know, that just means it's sellable.
Might as well.
No, they are only unconscious. I'm very curious what happens if I say throw a potion of healing and give them some hit points. Nope, they still have the knocked out condition. Still, there. Now I feel better about leaving them here.
I can pack or talk, and right now I'm packing. Right. I've got food, water, my dagger.
Oh, right.
True. By Mordai's eyes, another one. My friend's blood not enough. Come to rip me open too.
In Kresh Kalir, a formal greeting begins with a bow.
Is this monster with you?
Hold it, Lae'zel. I'll see to this one.
You dare interrupt? Has the tadpole ravaged your senses?
Enough. Stand down. I won't tell you again.
Kichoki. Fine.
You can breathe again. I won't let her hurt you.
Thanks. What do you want from me?
Information. Where did you see the Githyanki?
On the road to Baldur's Gate, near the mountain pass. Saw us, for we saw it. Jammed its blade through Yul's belly. Straight to the other side. Man, I just ran.
The map. Show me.
Thanks for your help, and apologies for my companion.
No hard feelings.
Let's see what he says again.
How long do you think we've got before the goblins come?
Okay.
The last time a subordinate questioned my judgment, I ate tongue stew that very night.
I warned you, didn't I? You ought to reconsider keeping her around before she causes real trouble.
Subordinate? No. We're partners. You'll treat me with respect.
Kenyak, your tantrum proves you no wiser than a hatchling. The tiefling was clear. If there are Githyanki west of here, that must be our objective. Purification cannot wait.
What do you mean, purification?
The Kresh holds the Zaithisk. It will cleanse us of the parasite. By covenant, I can say no more.
I don't think Gale would make fun of her, though. Alright, so that was the sort of upper portion of the grove, including following this around to the end there and going and talking to Zorru inside his little cave. I didn't go into here yet because it's restricted territory and I don't think Gale would trespass where he's not allowed. So in the next session we'll go down here and go into the inner circle of the grove and deal with all that, and I believe that will also include another battle over here, and hopefully knocking out these two didn't destroy my ability to save all the tieflings in this playthrough. I did not kill them, but I mean, it is what it is. I don't know why Shadowheart's guidance was not close enough for me to make use of. That's really upsetting, and I lost all my inspiration doing that too. But like, one of the main goals of this playthrough is to do the detect thoughts on everybody that I can, and that was just a ridiculously low chance for me to burn through all my inspiration and fail all of the rolls, even without the guidance. So I'm a little upset about that, but nothing to do but move forward. All right. So here is where I will leave you, and the books that we read, where they stood because we couldn't pick them up. I will place those clips at the end here, and also as I'm looting the grove areas up to this point and doing my purchasing and such, anything that I find there significant I will also include as a clip. But other than that, I will see you next time.
Aradin's back with his tail between his legs. I'm glad for your help, but I'd hoped you were Halsin.
Sounds like you've crossed paths with Aradin before.
Yeah, when he ran off with the druid that saved our hides the first time. Without Halsin, this grove's not so friendly, I'll tell you that.
Glad you were here for those goblins. Picked one off yesterday myself. Shot her through the throat. Well, that should have killed her, but she kept gasping. Clawing at the arrow.
Taking life always has a cost. You have to feel it, or you'll lose who you are.
I had the same thought. And it's just going to keep happening.
Soldier?
It sounds like all we need to do to fix your engine is find some infernal iron.
Let's hope Damon is as good as he seems. Once my engine's handled, I can focus on more important matters. Tadpoles, cults, frosty pints.
Be wary of false promises. The missing druid, Halsin, was it? He may be talented, but only a Githyanki Zathis can cleanse an embedded tadpole.
I'm not sure that I've asked this before. Are you sure a creche is our only path to a cure?
Entirely. I was as devoted to my studies as I was to my training. Each creche contains a Zathis purification device. So I learned from the writings in the Kalir library. The library was a gift from Vlaakith herself, that we may gain total understanding.
That kind of wisdom is very valuable.
Countless scholars roam the astral sea and beyond, observing the ways of our lessers, exploring planes so distant order turns to chaos and cold fires rage. The planes are ever quaking, and their peoples ever shifting. The Githyanki possess an eternity of knowledge. Yet we still collect more. Infinities upon infinities.
Traveler's Guide to the Sword Coast, Volume 9, Inns and Guest Houses. With the dust of their journey still clinging to boot and cloak, the canny traveler will no doubt seek to secure accommodation within the city post-haste. Below are some establishments that are typical of what the city has to offer. The Blade and Stars, easily identified by its sign, a wooden shield boasting a curved blade against a field of stars. A handwritten scrawl in the margins notes that the sign is currently not in place. This inn is comfortable, quiet, and highly recommended for travelers seeking to recuperate from their journey. Expect unassuming fare at a reasonable price, moderately clean rooms, and passably clean patrons. The Blushing Mermaid. For those seeking an altogether rowdier night in the city, the Blushing Mermaid should be the first port of call. Named for the life-size wooden mermaid on display, this inn is known for its ill-reputed patrons, frequent brawls, and altogether unsavory reputation. Nevertheless, I feature it here owing to great interest from my readership. I can only advise that you exercise extreme vigilance should you choose this establishment. Elfsong Tavern. Most of this passage is illegible due to water damage, apart from the words and phrases nearest the inner margin. Dimly lit, Proprietor Allen, disembodied elvish singing voice. The True and Impossible Adventures of Tenebrux Morrow, Volume 4. An excerpt from The True and Impossible Adventures of Tenebrux Morrow, a pulp serial following the real-life exploits of an interplanar ship's captain. The real Captain Morrow is known never to have left her native Waterdeep, and emerges from her rooms at the yawning portal only to exchange scrawled manuscripts for fresh meals and ink. It is quite a feeling to fall forever. Of course, fall does not exactly describe it, nor indeed does fly. Each patch of the sky in the elemental plane of air is bound by no laws but its own, rendering petty attempts at direction or definition meaningless. It is exactly this ferocious freedom that makes a plunge through the eternal blue the only way I've learned to truly relax. "You seem distracted," observed Erulus, shouting to be heard over this howling wind. That the goblin could so easily pierce my inscrutable facade was no surprise to me, for she is a sage of considerable wisdom, and a lifelong friend to boot. I am, I acknowledge, expertly adjusting my posture to avoid a drifting Aarakocra nest. Lord Primus was forewarned of my contract to infiltrate his mind palace. I had to leave my entire crew on Mechanus just to escape alive. I could sense her frown beneath the bleached bone skull that she eternally obscured her face. It was an affectation of her monastic order, and just one of the many things I had never truly understood about her. All perished. Surely the traitor was among them. Perished? Oh no, I traded them. Lord Primus wished to study mortal mannerisms, and he was most forthcoming with the identity of my betrayer in return. I reached out across the divide, and slipped from her finger the ring of command. With the loss of the magical item, she instantly ceased to fly and began to fall in earnest. A subtle distinction, but an important one. Her screams were already lost to the whipping wind by the time the new bride loomed into view. I climbed aboard, weighing the ring in my palm. Its exact twin was nestled upon my own finger, forged by Erulus many moons ago as a symbol of our undying friendship. Worry not, dear reader. She is my friend still, and it is fully my intention to return and catch her. Someday. Oral Histories of Faerun, the Spell Plague. This book is comprised of several chapters, one for each cited source. It claims to contain first-hand transcriptions of the oral histories of several storytellers throughout the realm. Chapter 25. Cornelius and Tomelius Worthywort, halflings encountered on the Golden Road south of Inarlith. I met the brothers, or rather they found me, in the lower pass through the Firesheer Mountains. They had encountered a trail of golden discs upon the path, and had resolved to gather and return them to whatever fool had more coin than common sense. It was to our mutual embarrassment, then, that I removed my cloak to reveal my patchwork yellow hide. It was molting season, I explained, and a traveler on the road had not the luxury to shed their scales in private, as would be proper. I suspect they knew too little of Dragonborn to be appropriately disgusted, and instead invited me to sup with them. Over a roadside fire, I learned of the purpose behind their journey. Cornelius. Lorien, my lad, our ancestral home. It was lost during the spell plague. Tomelius. Warn't nothing lost, Con. It's not Nan's lucky Nashers, is it? It sank. C. Wasn't I there when the blue fire took it? Sure, what do you remember? You were knee-high to a gnome. T. I remember you crying. Maybe it was that you sank the place, going back to finish the job. C. Watch that lip, lest I fatten it. Only a fool speaks ill of his homeland. Their brows were bristling dangerously, and so I diverted hostilities by speaking of my own people's ancestral home, the blighted world of Abir, and the 1,000-year tyranny of dragons we lived under, until the blue fire of the spell plague brought us to this world. C. Right. T. Another potato. Disintegrating journal. The brittle pages of this book have been rendered illegible with age, save for the occasional name written in crimson ink. A newer, sturdier page has been inserted beneath the front cover. It reads, "Found in the riverside structure to the south. Sheds no light on the purpose of that grim place, but confirms what we already know. It is very old. All else is speculation." And if you had read that before going to the overgrown ruins, then you would pick up the quest to explore the ruins.